Archaeologists are constantly stumbling upon ancient relics that have unraveled the mysterious truth of our pasts. These relics have been broken and buried deep under the surface in which we walk, sometimes making them hard to find. Due to the advancement in technology, digging up these relics has become easier, and some of these recent findings have really made everyone reevaluate their place in history. So what are the biggest archaeological finds that have been unraveled by us humans? Most importantly, do you know what was unearthed under Stonehenge? Let's find out. One of the most enticing mysteries that have been dug up by archaeologists is when they came across a 5th century Swedish site in which a human skeleton was found lying on the floor of the house. On further digging, it was found out that there was not just one skeleton, but plankton of other skeletons too, who were not buried but massacred. They were massacred with swords, axes, and clubs, following which they were abandoned until the walls of their houses collapsed on them. As of now, the skeleton of 26 people has been found so far. A sure fact about these executions is that the attack was a surprise. However, who the attackers were and what was their agenda behind this remains to be one of the biggest mysteries of the Sandby Borg massacre. Here is another massacre mystery that archaeologists have dug up. In Sunghir, a place close to Moscow, hunter-gatherers buried several people, including 2 adolescent boys. This happened around 34,000 years ago. On discovering the graves of these boys, it was found that the boys suffered from some sort of disability. The boys were buried with their heads adjacent to each other with 10,000 mammoth ivory beads, around 300 pierced fox teeth, more than 20 armbands, 16 ivory mammoth spears, antlers, carvings, and human fibulae were laid across the chest of each child. On the other hand, the adults that were buried had no such treasures in their graves, while some others had just a few treasures. The mystery of why kids with disabilities were buried like royalty is something archaeologists are still trying to crack. Archaeologists have found a network of caves in Kenya called Panga Saidi, where human artifacts from the Middle Stone Age straight through to modern times were unearthed. According to Michael Petraglia of the Max Planck Institute for the Science of Human History, more than 1,000 square feet of space was found in the main chamber of these caves and housed hundreds of people back then. The tropical climate in this region, along with a steady climate, must have attracted a lot of people to stay here. Apart from this, his team found large stone tools from the earliest inhabitants. These stone tools mostly included specialized arrowheads and blades that were invented only 67,000 years ago. This is a 70,000-year-old human occupation that was unearthed and has many more mysteries to unravel. Many archaeological discoveries started off by someone stumbling upon a find while digging for an entirely different purpose. A bunch of laborers were digging a well in China when they stumbled upon a life-size statue of a soldier. Archaeologists started excavating to find out more about the statue, but to their surprise found as many as 8,000 clay statues near this area. Most of these statues were of warriors, each of which held their own expression and weapons. Accompanying them were statues of terracotta horses and chariots as well. This was created as a mausoleum for the first emperor of China, Qin Shi Huangdi, who ascended the throne in 246 BC. Qin was buried in a tomb. However, archaeologists have concerns about excavating that tomb in fear of destroying it. Let's take a step away from land and take a look at an archaeological discovery that was made in the sea. About 2,000 years ago, a Greek ship sank off the coast of the island of Antikythera. It was discovered on the bottom of the sea in 1900s, from which archaeologists were able to retrieve various artifacts from the wreck. Whilst doing so, a unique object was found. The object came with multiple layers of brass gears that were built into a wooden box. Half a century later, it was found out that this object could predict the positions of the planets and stars in the sky by date. Since then, the Greek text has been found that showed predictions for eclipses, moon phases, and even a countdown to the Olympics. Another eerie discovery that was made by archaeologists was the unearthing of the Pet Cemetery. When Peruvian anthropologist Sonia Gillen was excavating a 1,000-year-old cemetery somewhere south of Lima, no human remains were excavated. However, the skeleton of 43 dogs was found. They were said to have been buried by the people of the Chiribaya culture, prior to which this practice was carried out by the people of the Inca Empire. The people of these cultures had high value for their pets. The land in which they were buried was said to be an area where they herded llamas. Some of these pets had separate plots near their human owners, while others were buried with treats and blankets. Due to the desert climate of this region, Sonia Gillen was able to see the similarities between the modern-day Chiribaya shepherd and those pets from the past. As of now, Sonia Gillen and her team are trying to prove a genetic lineage. Another archaeological mystery is that of the Gobekli Tepe. At the end of the Stone Age, which is more than 11,000 years ago, hunter-gatherers were nomadic and had not yet settled down to the agricultural lifestyle. This lifestyle is the basis of our modern-day lives. However, an archaeological site in Turkey has arisen a big doubt as large pillars with animal carvings, stone rings, and loads of rectangular rooms were found in this region. Many believe that this structure could be the oldest known architecture in the world, while other experts believe that it's a religious complex. Coming across a grave is something archaeologists love, but this once-in-a-lifetime female grave that was uncovered in England raised many questions. In this grave, a 30-piece necklace with a number of pendants made of gold Roman coins, as well as semi-precious stones and decorated glass pendants set in gold was found. Apart from this, a large rectangular pendant made of red garnets and gold with a cross motif as the centerpiece was found. In addition to this, a large cross was found. Due to this find, it was assumed that the grave probably belonged to a female Christian leader. An unusual silver cast of a human face with blue glass eyes was also found in this grave. The Notre Dame Cathedral has held great significance in the history of nations, and a mysterious sarcophagi was found right under this great marvel. Due to the fire incident that took place at the Notre Dame Cathedral not so long ago, restorations have been taking place since then. While doing so, some deep secrets were revealed. One of these secrets included the fact that 2 lead sarcophagi were salvaged from an ancient graveyard under the cathedral. Many have been contemplating what the sarcophagi contain. French archaeologists researched the sarcophagi for months and were finally able to reveal the identities of the entombed. It was found that the sarcophagi held the remains of a high-ranking clergyman who led a sedentary life. This was found out based on the inscriptions on his coffin. It was also found out that the man died young, probably due to some chronic illness. Mummies are probably archaeologists' favorite thing to dig up. Not so long ago, archaeologists believed to have found 8,000-year-old human skeletons in Portugal, and they believed these are the world's oldest mummies. A set of 8,000-year-old human skeletons buried in Portugal's Sado Valley may be the world's oldest known mummies. Photographs of 13 bodies were first exhumed in the 1960s, showcasing the mortuary rituals used by European Mesolithic peoples. Various studies have suggested that the people in the Sado Valley were engaging in desiccation through mummification. Many experts believe that the people in the Sado Valley indulged in this practice for easy transportation of the dead to the graves. It was also believed that this practice was done for the body to better retain its shape in life after burial. If this is true, it can enhance our understanding of Mesolithic belief systems, especially those relating to death and burial. Most of the mummies that we know of date from no earlier than 4,000 years ago, apart from the ancient Egyptians who have been estimated to have started this practice 5,700 years ago. The bodies of the Chinchorro mummies from coastal Chile were intentionally preserved by the region's hunter-gatherers around 7,000 years ago, long believed to be the world's oldest mummies. As we mentioned at the beginning of this video, there's a mystery that lies beneath the Stonehenge. Thousands of prehistoric hunting pits were unearthed beneath Stonehenge, some of which were said to be more than 10,000 years old. Many experts believe that they were used by prehistoric hunters, though much detail on how they used it and what they used it for remains a mystery. It has opened up many windows for research. With that, we come to the end of the video. Please do like, share, and subscribe, and see you soon.